Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Initiative Order. My name is Nathan Reidenauer, and I am so excited and honored to finally be bringing this game to life, the world of Symbaroum. Now, before we jump into tonight's game, I want to say thank you to a few specific individuals as well as to our sponsors, and then I'll let my wonderful cast introduce themselves, and we'll jump in. So, first off, I want to thank Free League Publishing, the creators of this wonderful game that you're about to witness. They've been super kind and giving us permission to use all the artwork from the game and all of our promo posts and trailers and everything that you've seen so far. So thank you so much, Free League, for that. Next up, I want to thank the wonderful team members here at the Initiative Order, starting off with Danny, aka Check for Traps, who is currently running our tech. He's also the founder of the channel. And I just want to say thank you so much for allowing us to run this on your channel. I also want to thank my amazing partner, Brianna Flame. You can find her at Brianna Flame. She is the one behind all of our beautiful promo posts, all of the teaser trailers that you've seen, as well as the intro that we'll be rolling here in just a few minutes. So thank you so much. And of course, the newest member of the Initiative Order, April Hill, aka Stiletto Assassin, who has been managing all of our socials. She's been blasting this everywhere. So thank you so much, April. Without them, this would not have been possible. And of course, thank you to my 5 wonderful, wonderful players. Thank you all so much for agreeing to be a part of this journey. Next up, I want to say thank you to our wonderful sponsors of the channel, starting off with Session Zero Clothing. They are the creators of some amazing, badass TTRPG-inspired streetwear. If you use code TIO, followed by the number 15 at checkout, you'll get 15% off your orders with them. Next up, the master dice crafters themselves, Norse Foundry. They create some beautiful gemstone dice, metal dice, as well as some other tabletop accessories. If you use code TIO15 through their website as well, you'll get 15% off your order. And next up, Roaming Player Gear, created by the phenomenal GotDM Ray. He's such an amazing, amazing person. He's also our storyteller for Evermore Tales here on the channel. He created this beautiful dice tower with a matching dice vault system. It's all really, really pretty, really well built. If you use code Carnaby20 at checkout through Roaming Player Gear, you get 20% off that dice tower system there. And of course, a thank you to Mithril Armory, who've been kind enough to provide us with giveaways for all of our streams. So stick around for the break. We'll be giving away a set of their 1020s when break time comes around, so hang out for that. And of course, I also want to mention that we are proud ambassadors of Jaspers Game Day this year. So Jaspers is an incredible foundation started by a very young woman who has just been busting her ass nonstop, bringing awareness, suicide awareness and suicide prevention through tabletop gaming. So if you're able to check them out, if you're able to support, please do. It's a great, great cause. And with that, let's go ahead and throw it over to my wonderful cast this evening. Starting off, just going with the order that I see you guys here on my screen. Let's start off with Coral.
Hello, friends. My name is Coral Reefer. You can find me on the Twitches at twitch.tv/queerventuretime. You can also see me in chat as Queer Adventure Time because I comment on everything and cannot shut up. So yeah, on my channel, you'll be seeing us talk about gender, politics, sexuality, kink, all of the fun nitty gritty stuff that lots of people don't really like to talk about, but we love to talk about it. So if you ever want to come and chat, let your girl know. Pronouns are she and they, and today I'm going to be playing Agithe.
All right. Moving on to Christine.
Hi everybody, my name is Christine, but you can find me here on Twitch as Slumberjane. Not nearly as exciting as Coral. We're just kind of chill video game playing time, so if you ever want to relax and hang out, catch us over at Slumberjane. And today we are playing Laerke, who is going to be the punch character of the game, hopefully. We'll see what happens. And pronouns are she and her.
All right. Moving on over to Kelsey.
Hi, my name is Kelsey. I'm Tombs and Tomes on Instagram, and today I'm going to be playing a changeling witch named Kinlegelana. who is also the coven member of Kovaan.
And speaking of Kovaan, Keith, how you doing?
Hi, everybody. Thanks for coming by. Instagram, I am not Kevin Bacon is my handle. On Twitch, Aloha808. I stream periodically on charity events for TIO. Also producer of Evermore Tales with GotDM. You can catch that on the opposite Sundays of Symbaroum. I guess that's the correct way to pronounce it, because I've been calling it Symbaroum.
There's
so
a
thank you,
million
Nate.
different ways. It's a mystery. We'll find out.
But excited to play this new system. I will be playing a witch named Kovaan. He is a green weaver, and I only care about the plants and animals and my friends, especially Kin, because she is part of my coven.
Excellent. And last but certainly not least, Leroyal.
Hey everyone, I am Lee Royal. On social media, you can find me at Royalty No Y. It's the word royal, the letter T, the word no, and then the letter Y. Yeah, I spend most of my time on Twitch and or Instagram. I am a cosplayer, an actor, a stuntman, and I do a variety of things on my streams. And today will be playing Nrobso, the Axe Artist Goblin.
Excellent, excellent. And just full disclosure to those watching, this is our first time playing this game. We've done a couple dry runs beforehand, so there may be some times where we have to pause and check things out for just a moment, so I apologize. Please be patient with us as we kind of begin to explore this world. And with that, Mr. Danny the Tech Guy, if you'd be so kind as to roll that beautiful intro for us.
Great. That's what we're going.
Hello and welcome back. So, my wonderful explorers of Symbaroum, let us dive into the story, shall we? So, the five of you have just made your way through the passes of the Titan Mountains, being recruited by Master Argosto and his caravan. You were all selected to travel with him. After spending a few days up in the harsh mountains, surviving through the snows, you finally come down the south side, making your way into this large, kind of open plain area known as Ambria. It is in this area where the human Ambrians have all settled, building multiple cities and strongholds around. Master Argosto, at this point, has broken off and is headed towards the capital of Indaros, while the 5 of you have been entrusted to his driver Telk to take you to the town of Thistlehold. Now, you all know that Thistlehold is significantly smaller compared to Indaros. It's this, but it's still a sizable town with probably 4,000 people living in it, with another 6,000 visiting every day. And you all know that this town sits right on the border between Ambria and the Davokar forest. You all currently find yourselves on the back of the wagon, Agithe's wagon, to be specific. And as you're all kind of sitting back here, you see the Ambrian human, a young man, kind of bushy brown hair, just this giant grin across his face as he's driving the cart. Just kind of looks up towards the sky and says, "Oh, Prios guided us well on this journey. How's everybody doing back there? Y'all still awake?" Maybe not.
Nrobso's just, I'm bouncing from like one side of the cart to the other, like kind of acrobatically, just restless. Almost home, almost home, almost home.
And Nrobso, as you're kind of jumping back and forth, you all feel the cart just begin to rock ever so slightly. You see Telk kind of snap his head back, looking at what's going on. And Nrobso, would you please describe what it is that Telk sees?
Telk sees a 4'2", 119-pound goblin, and he's wearing a like how you see right now, a purple little beanie, green skin, but his armor is weaving in and out between purple and green. There's an axe, kind of just on his back, and on his hip you see a nice little dagger, and then he's rocking these sweet little goblin boots that keeps his feet warm in the winter.
Excellent. And as you're kind of bouncing back and forth underneath this large kind of canvas enclosing, you're beginning to kind of see that the sunshine is beginning to kind of dimly break through this canvas. Over the past few days, you guys have seen nothing but cloudy skies and snow, and this warmth is definitely refreshing compared to what you've seen. And as Telk is kind of driving the car, it says, "All right, y'all, we're almost there. We'll be at the gate soon. Is there anything anybody would like to do at this time?" Agithe.
Yeah, Agithe, soon as the cart starts to rock, she also shoots that exact same look at Nrobso and just says, Do you mind?
Sorry, Agithe. Nrobso is excited to almost be home, and may be wary of the dangers that lurk within the town.
She gives a nice little sigh, and she's just going to be like, "Okay, what? Yes, well, jump up and down, back to front, not side to side."
Okay. So then I get on like the very back of the cart, and I'm just the typical seesaw wagon thing.
Excellent. All right. And Agithe, as you're having this conversation with Nrobso, would you please describe who we see?
Yeah, so Agithe is does not look anything like Coral. Agithe is a short, 5'2", 80. She's in her mid 80s, 80-year-old woman, all bundled up in some really, comfortable clothing. She's old. She's at the point where she's all like, she doesn't do things for fashion. She does things for function. So she's got all of this really nice flowy clothing that is incredibly comfortable. She's got pouches and all of these things for her herbs. She's currently sitting at one of her desks inside of the cart, just kind of futzing and organizing and categorizing all of the latest things that she's brought back from her last gathering session. And she's got a small dagger on her hip, and her staff, or walking stick, it's not extra enough to be a staff, is propped up in the corner next to her desk.
Excellent. And Nrobso, if you would do me a favor, as you go to the back of this wagon, you kind of grab on, begin hopping up and down. Please give me a quick roll as you're jumping up and down to see how dexterous you are and how well you can maintain your balance as you're hopping up and down on the back of this wagon.
I got a 3.
A 3. Okay, so that is under your quick, I believe. So that is a success. Yep. So yeah, I mean, you're small and nimble enough to where you're just kind of easily hopping up and down without even really having to hold on to much. And the rest of you inside, instead of just feeling that kind of rocking back and forth, you're now kind of feeling a bit of a wavy motion as you're riding through the cart here. Kinlegelana, Kovaan, and Laerke, anything you three would like to do at this time?
So as there's been commotion in the back, like I kind of stuck my face out and I started to use this pendulum looking out into the distance. And I stop it and I speak to Kovaan. There's mixed tidings in the town ahead, Kovaan. Perhaps we should be conspicuous.
I am not comfortable in city dwellings. I find my comfort in the woods. And after that last encounter, when I found you, I don't think we'd be welcomed in many of these places.
That's why we need to make sure that we're a bit less well known, if you know what I mean.
Easy for you. I have not the abilities that you are an expert in. I may stay in the cart.
And as this conversation is happening, Kinlegelana, would you please describe how you look for us?
So I'm sitting there. I have long white hair and I have black streaks through one side of my hair. I'm also dressed in a cloak. I have a matching raven skull brooch with my coven member, and I'm trying really hard to look as inconspicuous and blended in as possible.
Excellent. And as you look towards Kovaan, would you please describe how you look for us?
So I'm kind of dressed down. I'm kind of the opposite of Aggie. It's more earthy, kind of functional over fashion. I wear a witch cloak of wolf, but in taking it, I've also given thanks and devotion for it, for helping me to survive by sacrificing its existence. I have my coven pin here that signifies that Kin and I have a bond, and I also have a trophy. And I carry a staff that also has a trophy.
Beautiful. And Laerke, as you hear these conversations happening, as you see your little goblin companion hopping up and down throughout this cart, is there anything you would like to do at this time?
Yeah, Lark is actually gonna hop off the back of the wagon and walk along the back as we're starting to enter into town.
Okay, perfect. And as you exit the wagon, would you please describe what you look like for us?
Yes, Lark, at first glance, from any other angle besides front, is pretty unassuming, tends to like walk around a little hunched, kind of like how a vulture might walk along the ground. Obviously, the glaring difference is the mask, which she never takes off. I don't believe anybody here has ever seen her face. She wears a bunch of leather, crimson colored cloths and leather that's been dyed copper and brown and red over the years from wear and battle. And there's a strange symbol carved into many of the different places of the armor. But yeah, otherwise she just tries to keep her head low as she hops off the wagon and kind of stalks behind as they enter into the town.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, as you hop off the wagon, you kind of have to push your way right by Nrobso as he's kind of just on the center, up and down, up and down. But you see your opening and you're able to kind of slink your way underneath him as he's kind of mid-jump there. And as you step out and you kind of look towards the direction where you're heading, the first thing you notice is this large wooden palisade going on for about 150 meters in either direction, with a large open gateway set right in the middle of it. Looking beyond, you can see just trees, non-stop trees that just seem to go on endlessly, disappearing into the fog, which you immediately recognize as the Forest of Davokar. Peering up from behind this palisade, you see various buildings, a lot of them 2 to 4 stories high. And what you notice right off the bat is they're all constructed very similarly. And as you're all approaching this, you kind of hear the wagon kind of begin to slow down as you kind of, the dirt path almost, you hear it change to what sounds like cobblestone beneath tires as you're rolling through before the wagon finally stops. And Telke kind of turns to you all. All right. This'll hold it is. Welcome.
This'll hold it is.
And Telk will. You see him get off the front of the wagon and kind of go around to the back, and he's kind of just watching Nrobso. Could you just hold up for just a moment? We're here.
This was a nice ride, Telk. You drive often, yes?
I've been driving for Master Augusto for a couple years now. Yes.
Agithe could use someone of your talents.
Agithe's gonna like look at Nrobso and nod and like he's not wrong. It is very rare that I allow someone to drive my shop. So you have done a good job with it. You've already earned my trust.
While I greatly appreciate the offer, Miss Agithe, I'm afraid the Master Augusto takes pretty good care of me, and I'm quite happy with where I'm at.
Well, as long as you're well taken care of, that is the most important thing.
But if I do come across anybody who I trust enough, I may send them your way if you're all right with that.
Of course. And Agithe is going to give Laerke a nice smack on the back that is just slightly stronger than you would expect from a woman of her age. But you're definitely used to it. And she's just going to be like, and if anything else, we've always got my good friend here.
Of course.
I go to shake Telk's hand.
Their greetings.
And like, is he taking my hand?
Yes, Telk will accept, and he kind of reaches down in your direction.
It's this super rough, like, I grab his hand, I pull him in, and I like do all of this weird patting because I'm also wanting to pick his pockets.
Okay, excellent. Go ahead and give me a discrete roll. Now, you will have a -3 due to him because you're kind of right up in his face, so he'll kind of have an idea of, I mean, he can feel you patting him down, so for our viewers, basically what's happening here is the players in this game always roll the dice. The GM will never roll dice, so Nrobso is making what's called a discrete check as he's trying to pat down and pickpocket this individual, and I'm giving him a modifier based on his actions and the fact that he's right up on this individual and Telke currently has his full attention directed towards you, Nrobso. So you want to roll your discreet -3. You want to roll below whatever that number is.
And then I'm also going to use my boon, which is dexterous. So +1 to all discreet for stealing and hiding.
Okay, perfect. So it's now just a -2 instead. Excellent.
I got a 10.
Okay, and what is your discreet score?
It's a 5.
Oh, okay. So as you're kind of patting him down, your little goblin hands reaching into one of his pockets, and you all of a sudden feel your wrist just get caught, and he's just kind of, I earned those shillings. I think it'd be best if you didn't.
I pull out one of my blades.
Don't grab the Nrobso so tight.
And
I
let
think
go.
what Nrobso is trying to say is that it was an accident.
Aggie's just going to shoot a very, very parental glare over at Nrobso.
All right, excellent. And Kinlegelana, as you kind of say, it was just an accident. Go ahead and give me a persuasive roll if you would.
Okay. All right. I rolled a 14, but my persuasive is an 11.
It was an 11. Okay.
Mhm.
So as he's kind of gripping onto you, Nrobso just kind of looks back towards you, Kinlegelana. Really? Seems like this little shit knows exactly what he's up to. He lets you go, Nrobso. Just keep an eye on him here.
I
Well, thank you
accidentally
for your
almost
kindness.
cut you just now.
Nrobso,
Hmm?
what you mean is you're going to just come with us into town, yes?
Friends. I walk with my friends.
Yes.
Excellent. Well,
I'm gonna look at Nrobso and remind him, like the encounter with Augusto's men. There's a time and place, and I will help you when it's needed, and you will get the fun things you look for.
Nrobso only has about 13 more years to live. I'll
Then we
wait
should make it
for my time.
a priority, my friend.
now, before you all try to mug me once more, I believe payment is in order per Master Augusto and you getting us through the passes. Even though some of you seem to be a bit more deserving than others, she and Death glare down towards Nrobso. But Master Augusto is a man of his word, as am I. He reaches down into one of his other pockets and he pulls out a small bag filled with coins. He kind of reaches in and he hands each of you 2 thaler pieces.
And while this is happening, I would like to shoot a bit of a sympathetic look towards Nrobso.
If Aggie recognizes this, she's just going to shake her head at Kinlegelana and like a head shake that says don't encourage him.
There are many dark things in the world, Aggie, and I appreciate you always staying vigilant. But maybe Nrobso just has some self-control that will be exercised in town. Yes, Nrobso? In town?
In town, where there may be more dangerous people.
Or
Or
not?
perfectly pleasant people who we want to be friends with and
Yes.
ally ourselves with and possibly sell things to.
Sell.
Yes. Nrobso, if you have a bandana that is your your favorite, like your party bandana. That's the one you should wear to town. Right, Kovaan?
I will be going discreet also. So, I would follow Kin's advice.
Sneaky, sneaky. Okay.
And as this is happening, Telk, after hanging up the thaler, he'll kind of make his way over towards you, Laerke, kind of pulling you away from the group ever so slightly, not like out of sight, but probably a good 15, 20 feet away. As he hands you your coin, he kind of says, look, I appreciate what you've all done for us here, but I highly advise you to be careful in these parts. The city guard aren't as forgiving.
It's not our first rodeo together. I hear what you're saying. Don't worry. We'll keep a handle on things. I appreciate the concern.
Excellent. And Laerke, if you would please give me a cunning roll when you have a moment.
Let's see. Not my strong suit. Yeah, no, that wasn't good. So.
Okay. So as Telk kind of says, the guard out here aren't as forgiving. You think for a moment, as you've been kind of a volunteer guard in the other cities, you realize you haven't spent as much time in Thistlehold. So unfortunately, you're not entirely certain what the punishments would be.
Do I know would I have any knowledge of who is in control in Thistlehold, if it's barbarian or if it's Ambrian?
This is an Ambrian settlement.
Okay.
And you would all know that it is run by Mayor Nightpitch. Okay. And for the rest of you, if actually, let's go ahead and have everybody give me cunning rolls here to see if you have any additional knowledge on Thistlehold itself here.
And I'll shake Telk's hand as we're parting ways.
Which roll did you say?
Cunning, please. Nrobso, I will give you a +3 to this. So your cunning roll is now your base level +3. Reason being is about an hour to the west of this area is a goblin village that you are well acquainted with.
Okay, are you ready? This is going to be my first of many times that I try to plead my case for stat bonuses. As a traveling merchant specializing in herbs and alchemy and things that you gather from forests, would it make sense that Agithe has definitely been, because this is like a city that's like right on that border, right?
Correct, yeah. So yeah, I'll give this to you as like you said, you're kind of a traveling alchemist, whereas Kinlegelana and Kovaan, you've kind of spent more time sticking to the woods and not being fans of civilization.
I will say, though, I did get a 1. I rolled a 1.
Okay, perfect. So you've definitely, I'll say you've stepped through Thistlehold a few times just to pick up certain supplies. You all know that this area has a few different groups of interest. You know that there is a group of Ordo Magica that operates out of here. You know of Mayor Nightpitch. You've all, Kinlegelana especially, you've heard stories of the guard who have dealt with individuals who choose to partake in more criminal-like activity, or those who just choose not to contribute to the society in any way. And you've heard the stories of these guards that basically just pull them to the northern gate, strip them of everything, and send them into the Davokar woods to basically be left to their fate, whether that be left up to the nearby tribes or to the creatures that live within Davokar.
I got an 8 for my check, which is I passed because my You said cunning? Yeah, my cunning with that bonus is 10.
10. Okay, perfect.
So would my arc enemy also be here? Would I know that?
That, to your knowledge, no,
Okay.
they're not here. But what you do know is, just because with your background being the axe artist, kind of in your kind of career path, you know that Thistlehold was built by goblins and is almost maintained by goblins as well. There's a small village off to the west, about an hour's travel, that the goblins, they kind of go to the border of the woods, chopping down trees, bringing in the lumber to create this settlement. And you would know that this settlement, compared to the others, is still fairly new, as it's only 8 years old.
Nate, I got a 12 with my Norse Foundry dice.
Excellent. Perfect. And that's below
cunning
your
is
cunning.
a 13. Yeah,
Okay,
my cunning
perfect.
is a 13.
Excellent. So yeah, you would also have the same kind of basic knowledge as Nrobso here. And with that, Telk kind of shaking Laerke's hand and says, yes.
Real quick, I never gave you my number.
Oh, no, you did not.
What bonus are you giving me for that?
I will also give you a +3 bonus.
Great. So I rolled a 17.
Okay.
And my cunning is 15. +3 makes that 18.
Just barely passing. Okay. So yeah, kind of like
But
Kovaan.
and that's the thing, though. Also, I also have my first check of the day is critical for me because I took a burden that the elderly burden. So if I fail my first check of the day, I get a -1 to all checks for the rest of the day.
Yeah, so just for our viewers, that's another wonderful thing I love about this system are boons and burns, which are basically, as they sound, a boon will give you some awesome reinforcement, some boosts, but burns can be incredibly detrimental, as Agithe just mentioned there. So yeah,
this is why I was all like, so how much exactly are you
gotta save yourself there. So yeah, you would have the same basic knowledge as kind of Kovaan in this area. You would also know that there's no specific contacts from your background in this area, if that makes sense to you. You would have that knowledge as well. And as Telk is finishing speaking to Laerke, shaking your hand, he kind of looks towards you and just says, well, make yourself at home here in Thistlehold. There's plenty of inns, plenty of taverns, entertainment. If you're interested in more work, I would suggest seeking out Master Vernum at the Academy. I think perhaps a couple of your friends may be interested in meeting him as well, as he's part of the Ordo Magica in this area. But
sorry, quick question. Is
yes.
that who, do we know who, I thought, shoot, I can't remember the name of the guy who hired us, but he said we were meeting someone here?
He said that he had suggested that you guys head to Thistlehold to find more work, and this is the individual that he's pointing you towards specifically.
Okay.
There's no specific meeting set up between you, but you would know that Telk has also been sent to kind of recommend you to this individual as well.
Okay, what was the name one more time?
So Master Argosto is the one that hired you. The individual that you are over at the Academy is Master Vernum. Vernam.
Okay, cool.
Hey, Nate, before we go into town, I would have a short interaction with Aggie.
Sure.
I reach into my pouch and I bring out like a little packet of herbs. And Aggie, I found extra on my travels, and I think you might find these interesting. This is pennyroyal. It creates a weak sort of poison. I find it very helpful in certain situations, and I gift this to you.
Yeah, Agithe is going to take it very gingerly, but not like scared. Like with reverence and understanding, you know, the danger that it holds.
It's packing it
and,
up, so you're not touching it like straight on.
Oh, beautiful. She's still going to pay it a little bit of reverence though. And yeah, she's just gonna bow her head slightly and be like, oh, well, this I'm sure will definitely come in handy at some point. We never know what we may come across. Thank you. I very much appreciate this.
You're welcome.
And what was it called again?
Penny Royal.
Penny Royal. Beautiful.
And yeah, you would definitely have that knowledge with your background and Kovaan explaining it. Of you can definitely make some kind of poison with it, but as Kovaan said, nothing super potent. All right.
Still, anything to coat a weapon.
So, at this point, Telk kind of bows his head down to you, Laerke, looks towards the others, and just says, all right, well, enjoy your time here. If you need me, I will be at one of the taverns. Not sure which one. I might do a little tavern hopping myself. I'm a bit ready for a bit of relaxation. But enjoy yourselves. And you see Telk kind of move into the crowded streets, and walking off. The five of you, what would you all like to do at this time?
Well, perhaps we should. Oh, look, I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just going to tell the team, basically. Our next contact is Master Vernon. So, I suggest we gather some information.
Do we know where this Master Vernon is?
Yes, the DM told me.
Beautiful. Then we will go straight there. I might have overheard it being the Academy.
Yes.
Yes.
Correct. It is the Academy, and Kinlegelana, especially with your Nat 1 early on your cunning check, you spent plenty of time walking through this area, and you've kind of familiarized yourself with the Ordo Magica and kind of the main buildings of where you would find other magic users in this area. You would also know that the Ordo Magica aren't quite like you in Kovaan. They're more so your typical trained wizard, if you will. They don't just go off in the forest drawing their powers from nature. Theirs are more so from years of study. But you do know where the Academy is, and if you would like to all start making your way that direction, you certainly may.
Oh, look, this is where the Academy is. This way.
Are we taking the wagon with us? Is there space to do that?
Aggie?
Yeah, y'all would, if you've traveled with Aggie, you would know that anywhere Aggie goes, the wagon usually goes too, unless it is at a secure location.
Is there going to be enough space on the streets to get us to where we need to go with the wagon, Nate?
Looking through this area, you can definitely see there are some definitely narrow alleyways that kind of move between a few of these buildings. And how this town is laid out, as you walk in, you notice it's almost like a large oval palisade. You do see main roads cutting from north to south, east to west, that you could probably roll the wagon through.
Okay.
And as you're also kind of looking in this area, you notice that all these buildings are built kind of in just large clusters. So they're clusters of anywhere from 6 to 10 buildings with just little tiny walkways in between. But you do know that the Academy that you're looking for is over to the eastern side of Thistlehold.
Okay. Well, I'll grab the reins to the moose and start leading the wagon if Lana wants to lead us there.
Oh, what strength you show. Beautiful. This way. Come, Kovaan. And Nrobso. Nrobso, where are you?
Just looking at the structures for the Karabadok built this whole town. The
My.
Karabadok were my clansmen.
Very interesting, Nrobso. How about we hear more about that as we go in this direction, in a single file line in which you are closer to the front?
And then I put on my bandana to be more discreet.
And hide my appearance. And
Okay.
I follow.
Give me a discreet check if you would like, Nrobso.
And also use my boon for dexterous for hiding.
I'll allow it, yeah.
All right, that dice is broken. 18.
18. All right. So you try to kind of disguise yourself using your bandana, trying to pull it over your face or however you like. But you keep realizing that you can't quite cover enough of your face. You kind of pull it down, your nose and your ears are sticking up out of it. You pull it up, you see your chin jutting out from underneath, your green skin just, standing out compared to all the other Ambrians walking around at this time. However, you do, as you're kind of fidgeting with what you're doing, you can tell that there's really not a lot of people that are staring in your direction. It seems like nobody's really paying you much mind.
These people may not be working for the enemy that follows Nrobso.
Yeah, does Aggie notice Nrobso doing this?
Oh yeah. Nrobso, you saw Nrobso kind of try to sneak behind the wagon for a moment and try to begin pulling everything down, but as the wagon moves, he's just kind of standing out in the open, fidgeting with himself.
Yeah, Aggie's gonna go ahead and just look at Nrobso and give a nice big smile and be like, it's nice to not have to hide sometimes, you know. And you'll be shocked how different you feel once you let your guard down.
Oh, Agithe Nrobso must never let his guard down.
And then he grabs the necklace finger that he chopped off.
This is a constant reminder that Nrobso must stay alert at all times.
And he lets it go back to his chest.
And you
Aggie's
Nrobso just holding up this rotted, severed finger, just kind of hanging off this kind of what kind of material would you have it hanging off of? It's on a chain? Is it on like a suede cord? What kind of
Yeah, it's on like just your typical hemp rope. Maybe that was then used to hold someone's pants up.
Yeah, Aggie is definitely does the party well aware that you have this around your neck at all times?
If anyone knows, it would be Laerke.
Okay, cool. So then, then Aggie definitely not expecting it, a rotting finger getting shoved in her face, gets taken aback, but is actually curious about it after she registers. And she's just, but she's gonna be like, awareness and calmness are not mutually exclusive terms. It took me many years to understand that, and I hope it takes you fewer years than it took me.
Now, in fewer years, Nrobso makes his journey to Davokar.
I'm just staring in the woods direction.
Yeah, you see Nrobso just kind of staring off towards the south. You can't tell if he's staring at buildings or at individuals walking by. It's just kind of caught that 1,000-yard stare in that direction.
I'm gonna stare at whatever he's staring at.
You see lots of 2 to 4 story wooden buildings. You see kind of a little bit off to the east, you see this tall flaming tower. It looks kind of like what's behind me right there. And you just see a few crowds of individuals walking by. You see a mixture of mostly humans. You do see a couple goblins in their midst walking through as well.
Nice. Aggie's just gonna give Nrobso a nice little pat on the shoulder and get back to whatever tinkering she was doing.
All right. So you all continue making your way over towards the academy on the east side. And as you're maneuvering through the streets here, if everybody would please give me a vigilance roll. You have a moment.
Is a no. It's a no from me, dog.
No there? Okay.
I'm with Aggie.
I got a 9, and my score's 11.
Laerke being the MVP here with that vigilance save. So, as you're all kind of walking through, Agithe, you're kind of so enamored by just whatever the fuck it is Nrobso is doing, just kind of keeping an eye on him. Kovaan and Kinlegelana maybe kind of muttering between yourselves as you're walking through here. Laerke, you hear kind of coming from behind you guys what sounds like a small patter of footsteps moving very quickly. And as you kind of turn and look in that direction, you hear some human men just shouting out, "Stop her! Grab that heretic! She's the one!"
I'm gonna tell everyone to... First, I'm gonna put my arm out. I'm gonna try to move the moose to get the wagon further off to the side of the road.
Okay.
Kind of use my other arm to tell everybody to stay out of the way. Basically, watch out! There's something coming this way.
Perfect. And as you kind of look in that direction, you see this young woman, probably 17, 18 years old, just sprinting as quickly as she can. She's wearing just this simple robe, nothing really ornate or standing out about it. And behind her, you see 6 individuals all dressed in kind of this dark leather armor, wearing these black cloaks with hoods drawn over them, chasing after her. You just hear them yelling, "Stop there! Stop her! Right there! Help us!"
So they have a bead on her. They can see her, right?
Correct, yes. They see her running in your direction, and they're just kind of shouting to the crowd around, asking anybody to stop this young woman. And as she begins to approach, Laerke, as you're the kind of the one that saw this, you would probably be the first one that she sees as well. And she just kind of runs up to you and says, you look strong. Please, you can't let them take me. Please.
I kind of look at the other team members, but I'll put myself between her and the 6 as they start to approach.
Okay, perfect. And at this point, the rest of you do see this happen. You see this young woman being kind of shuffled behind Laerke, and you see these 6 large individuals just heading in your direction.
They are not city officials, correct?
From what you can tell, they don't appear to have any type of city guard symbols on them. However, give me a cunning check if you would.
That is a success.
A success. Okay. So looking at these individuals, it's pretty well known in the areas of Ambria that the main religion that's worshipped is the Church of the Sun. They worship this individual named Prios, the sun god, essentially. And you know that within this church, there's various organizations that kind of handle different tasks within the church. You're well aware of the Templars, who are kind of the more armored, hired swords. You're also aware of a group called the Black Cloaks, who are kind of the more... how high was your success?
I have a 15 cunning and I rolled a 3.
And you rolled a 3. Okay, perfect. So yeah, you would know that the Black Cloaks are more so, while loyal to the church, they also kind of operate under their standards. And you know that they have been heard hunting down magic practitioners that don't fit within the church.
Okay, with that 3 cunning, would I know if they have any LOL, this is the brain that I have. Would I know if they have any legal or political influence or sway with those powers that be?
You would know,
Like,
especially traveling.
Is it like the the Pope and like the Holy Roman Empire type of deal? Is that the relationship we're talking
essentially,
about?
yeah.
Okay, great. If that's the relationship we're talking about, then Aggie is probably, no, she's not probably, because that's not how you play games like this. She is going to put her hand in front of Laerke, pull Laerke back, and say, these are not situations that we prefer to get ourselves involved in.
And as these 6 individuals approach, you just see them go.
And Coral is so sad to make that decision.
You just say, in the name of Black Cloak Bomelo, hand us the heretic, or be labeled heretics yourselves.
Aggie is going to immediately put her hands up and look at Laerke and say, we have arrived into town not only but 5 minutes ago. We assure you, we know nothing of what is going on. All we see is 6 large men chasing a young girl. So I do hope you will forgive us for our immediate reaction.
And what I would like from everybody too is, Agithe, go ahead and give me a persuasion roll to start, please. And as you have your hands up, I will give you a +3 to this, as you're very obviously not trying to be aggressive towards them.
Beautiful. That +3 made it a success. I rolled an 11, and with the +3, it makes it a 13 persuasive.
Okay, perfect. So as you're kind of standing there speaking your words, a couple of them that kind of had their eyes directed towards you, they're now kind of focusing more so on the group. They still have their arms kind of rested on their swords, but they haven't drawn them at this point. Now what I would like is everybody to give me a cunning check as you hear the name Bomelo.
My cunning is a 10 and I rolled a 10.
Okay, so if it meets, you succeed.
I got a 1.
1, perfect. Nothing from Laerke, okay?
I got a 9. My
9,
cunning
okay.
is a 13.
Perfect.
I got a 2, and my cunning is a 15.
Okay, perfect. So unfortunately, every but Laerke, as you hear the name Bomelo, especially with Kovaan and Kinlegelana, you've heard this name before, and you recognize the name as an famous or infamous Black Cloak, depending on how you view him, who has led witch hunts that have destroyed entire villages in the past. So Kinlegelana and Kovaan, you hear the name and it just resonates within yourselves. And you see the young woman who's kind of standing behind Laerke. She's like, "No, please don't let them take me. They've accused me of witchcraft. It's not true."
I'm gonna whisper to Kin, this is why I didn't stay in cities. I think you know who these are.
Understood.
Actions from the group right now.
I don't really have a cowl or anything, but I'm gonna kind of play along that I'm just discussing normal things with kin and trying to be as like nonchalant as possible because I know who these people are.
Okay, give me a discreet roll if you would.
Big fail.
Okay. So you think you're being sneaky in your discussions. I'm sorry. Go ahead and Keen.
Is there any way that I could potentially help with that role by maybe like making it so that my body is sort of like inserted in front of Kovaan, and I'm a changeling, so I look more like them.
Okay, so at this point you're kind of taking on a more Ambrian appearance. Okay, perfect. So yeah, I will let you can either make a discreet roll with a +3, or you can each roll once again.
What would you like to do, Kovaan?
Since Kin is the changeling, I would defer all matters of deception to her.
Okay, so discreet with a +3.
All right, so my discreet is a 10. I rolled a 15 plus 3.
No, so your discreet is a 10, so that +3 would be added to the base. So that would bring your discreet up to a 13.
Oh, okay, but I
unfortunately,
rolled 15.
because you still rolled that 15, you can't quite accomplish trying to act as nonchalant as you would hope. However, what you do notice is these guards, they don't appear to be paying much attention to anybody else in the group. They're more so just staring down Laerke and the young woman behind you. Nrobso, is there anything you would like to do at this time?
I gotta get on the top of the cart, just looking out, just assessing the situation, and then I kind of like lean towards the direction of Laerke, and I say,
Is this how Nrobso dies?
No, I don't think you're the one that's on the chopping block right now. I'm trying to decide, out of character to the group. All of the attention is on me and the girl right now, but I think if there was a situation that happens that could get the attention off of me and the girl, I could give the girl an attempt to escape by maybe feigning that she's injured me in some way and gotten away from me. Because I think at this point, I'm going to reach back and I'm going to grab her arm as if I would be to pull her forward. But maybe nudge. I've been working with Nrobso for a really long time. Maybe he kind of gets the idea that it would be a good idea to make a little bit of a commotion somewhere.
Okay. I will say, Nrobso, give me a vigilance check to see if you can kind of pick up on what Laerke is doing here. And I'll give you a +2 to this, as you two have been working together long enough to where you've got a general idea of how each other operates.
well, I got a 20, so.
Okay, so
Any other game.
Nrobso, you're just kind of standing up there, just staring down, whispering to yourself, "Is this how I die? Is this how I die?"
Surveying the area, surveying everything except for
You see everything but Laerke. Laerke's invisible right now. So
Okay,
Laerke,
well-
you're kind of looking towards Nrobso, and he doesn't appear to be picking up on what you're doing. Are you still going to try to pull this young woman forward, or what would you like to do at this time?
I'm gonna keep my grip on her arm, and I'm going to ask them basically, what are the charges?
And what authority do you have to be asking for that information?
Do I see are there a lot of barbarian people in the crowd?
Looking around at this time, no.
Okay. Well, she's gonna try. She's gonna basically like brush off some whatever from her armor and basically say, as a as a representative of the High Chieftain Wrathguard, I would like to know what are the charges.
Give me a persuasion roll if you would.
Everybody cross your fingers. Oh God. Okay, just got it. I have a 9. I rolled an 8.
Oh man, okay, excellent. So they kind of look at one of them, kind of looks back towards his companion to Olga's, kind of like, what harm is it going to do, and explaining the situation. All right, fine. We are members of the Black Cloak, and we've been tasked with hunting down those accused of witchcraft. Gesturing towards the young woman. Her neighbors claim that she has been practicing. We're here to investigate.
Investigate or prosecute? It kind of seems like you guys are already, I don't know, decided, calling her a witch and heretic. Do you have any proof? Have you got, or just the words of some random neighbors that maybe have a bone to pick?
These random neighbors are contributing members of Thistlehold. Their words sound strong. Now I ask you once again, will you hand her over, or will you also be labeled a heretic? And they all begin to step forward.
Aggie is literally going to look at Laerke and say, we do not have any dog in this fight. Therefore, we have no reason to protect this girl, as she glares at Laerke.
Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead, Laerke.
No, go ahead.
Okay, I was going to say, at this time, if you would please make me a strong check.
Me?
Yes. And you will have a +3 to this as well.
Okay. I rolled low enough. 11.
11, okay, perfect. So as they're kind of stepping forward and you hear Agithe talking to you, you feel the young woman try to pull away. But luckily you're significantly more built than she is, and you've got that grip on her arm, unless you would like to let her slip away. But that is your choice.
Yeah, what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna jerk my arm down in an attempt to basically feign that I'm trying to control her, and then I'm actually gonna ram my forearm into my my battle claw.
Oh.
And jerk my hand up as if she just stabbed me, and allow her to dip.
Okay, interesting. Go ahead and give me a discrete roll, if you would.
6. Discrete is 7.
Okay, excellent. So yeah, as you feel her trying to pull away, you take your arm and you jerk it down, slicing into yourself ever so slightly. Go ahead and roll the damage on your claw.
Okay. I think that's a 1d6. Right, where are you? Yeah. 2 plus 1, 3 damage.
3. Okay, so you take 3 points of damage. So you would subtract that from your toughness score.
Okay.
As your arm jerks down, you might not have wanted to cut yourself that deeply, but unfortunately, your blades caught a nice chunk of your forearm as it slid down, and you see the young woman just kind of like shuffling back a bit in shock, as she's not sure if she did that to you or if she just had enough strength to pull away, and she kind of looks towards you, Kinlegelana and Kovaan, and just tries to shove her way past you two and just continues running down the alley.
I will feign falling over, me not looking, and then be like, oh, and just falls over.
Okay, give me.
Oh, someone pushed me. Oh, it hurts.
Give me a persuasion roll with this one.
Okay. Yes, thank you. my persuasion is an 11 and I rolled a 3.
Okay. And you see these individuals kind of go, you see? There's no way she's that strong on her own. She's a witch. And they just kind of, useless, pushing beyond all of you and continue to chase her through the streets.
I'm gonna kneel down and play into Kin's act. And Kin, and I reach for my side because I'm old and my back actually hurts. And I reach down and play along.
All right.
With seeing this play, Nrobso, I'm gonna stage dive and try to land on the guards running by.
You're gonna try to land on these black cloaks, okay? Give me a quick check if you would. I will give you a +3 as they're not expecting this.
I got a 13. My quick with that added 3 would be 18.
Oh yeah, so easy enough. You stage dive off the top of this cart, landing perfectly on the back of this black cloak. Now, as you land on him, what is it you would like to try to do? Are you gonna try to pull him to the ground, or are you just gonna try to cut into him? What would you like to do?
No, I'm seeing it as a game, so I'm just like rolling, just back and forth, just rolling, like very very playful, jovial. I don't want to look like I'm attacking it anyway. Just stupid fun because I don't understand the social stuff that we're doing.
All right, so you land on the back of this black cloak as he's running, and you pull him kind of down onto the ground, just kind of rolling around with him. He's just, what the fuck is on me? Shit! And you see a couple more up ahead. They kind of stop and turn around. They, hey, you, get off of him! And they come running over, and they try to grab you and pull you off of this individual. Do you allow them to pull you, or are you gonna try to stay gripped on?
No, I allow.
Okay. They both of them, each of them kind of scooping you up under either of your arms, kind of lifting you up into the air, and like, what the hell was that?
Tame the org, tame the org, tame the org. I tame the org.
Are they still holding him up?
They are at this point trying to figure out what the hell is going on. The one on the ground is kind of picking himself up, dusting himself off.
I think Laerke is going to go over there and try to, like, basically pull him from them and be like, sorry, he's just a child.
Tame the org, tame the org, I tame the org.
Give me a persuasion roll. I'll let either Nrobso or Laerke do this. And whoever does it will have a +3 to this roll as you're kind of assisting each other here.
Are you any good at persuasion?
No.
All right.
I'm strictly playing my goblin games. Tame the org, tame the org.
Oh, shit. Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to curse. I got a 2. It's
A
good.
2.
Yeah.
Fuck yes. Okay, so with that 2, you are able. They kind of.
Great. I was
look at
about
each
to
other.
ask, but that answered the question.
They look at each other like, oh, this damn child. All right, fine. Just please keep him in order. All right. Shit. They kind of turn around. Which, God, Prios, damn it. And they both kind of take off running. You see 2 of them kind of go off to the north, one of them kind of cut into the south. But as it stands, they are all out of sight, out of mind at this time. All of you continuing to make your way to the Academy, yes, unless there's anything else you would like to do at this time.
I'm waiting
Yes.
for Agithe to basically hit me with a newspaper and be like, bad.
Yes. 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 Aggie is about to lecture. Yeah, as soon as everybody is back at the cart, you just see Aggie just kind of standing there, not with her eyes closed, but with her hand on whatever animal we decided is driving this cart.
It's a moose.
Moose.
With her hand on her moose, just taking a nice deep breath, calming the moose. And once everybody is there, she's just going to say, I understand. There are always going to be forces at play outside of our control. However, we must remember our methods of dealing with those mustn't diminish our capacity to deal with those. If I had gotten a chance to write that out, it would have been said a hell of a lot better. She gives you the impression that we need to make smart choices for the long run. In a really nice, fancy, character-driven way.
I
You
tamed
say
them. I tamed the orc. I tamed the orc.
It was
So,
a good
she's-
York.
She's going to just nod and say, yes, Rasbo, your unorthodox methods are always such a pleasant surprise. And she is going to put a hand on Lark and just be like, though I do understand. It's difficult.
It won't happen again. Sorry, Agithe. I let my emotions get the better of me.
She just gives a nice nod and a smile. Says, I appreciate. Thank you.
Aggie has seen much in life. It's clear.
After
Too
helping
much.
Kin up, I'm gonna make my way to the cart. I'm gonna look at Kin and say, yeah, I think my first idea of hiding in the cart would be best.
Understood. I would like to walk beside the cart, and I am announcing it to all of you. Thank you. I'll give directions from beside the cart.
All right. So you continue making your way. It only takes you about 5-10 minutes to make your way down to this area. And as you approach, you see this tall, narrow, what appears to be a 4-story wooden tower. And at the base of this tower, you see kind of this smaller log fence kind of shaped in like a little triangle built around it. The opening to this area is wide enough to where you could pull the cart in. So it's at least within the fence line if you wish. And you make your way over there. You're currently at the base of this tower. There's a large, ornate wooden door standing before you. What would you like to do?
I suppose knocking is a wonderful strategy.
Well, I imagine that if Kovaan is going to be staying inside of the wagon, then Laerke will probably stay with the wagon as well to offer some extra protection. And
Okay.
she is apparently not the best face anyways.
Nonsense. Wonderful face.
Aggie will look at Kin and be like, well, does that mean that you and I will be going and as representatives of the guild, so to speak?
Like, Kin is nervously, like, holding this and kind of looking at it. Well, I suppose that is the plan.
Aggie's going to if you're nervously holding your dowsing pendant, Aggie's going to put up a finger and go into the back of her shop cart, and in a small compartment tucked away off in the corner, she's going to just pull out a few spare pieces of clothing and she's going to hand them to Kin and just say, sometimes I find that blending in can be a bit more helpful than standing out.
I understand.
It's not up to
And I will like put like the little pieces of like I'll put like I guess like maybe just like a really rough looking cloak over my cloak. I am right now. I do look like an Ambrian right now. That's good news.
Perfect.
Shall we, Aggie?
Yes, of course. Us weary travelers.
Nrobso
Traveling,
would like to
selling the
come.
wares.
Nrobso would like to come. Nrobso would like to come.
Nrobso would like to come.
And let him go with
Nrobso
you.
will come.
All right. Three of you approach the door. Who would like to knock?
Why not?
All right. Kinlegelana, you reach up, knocking on this large wooden door, and it begins to slowly creak open. And with that, we're going to jump to a quick break. So, we do have our giveaway from Mithril Armory at this time. So, down in the chat, type in the word beginning. Type it in one time, and you'll be automatically entered in for a chance to win some lovely 1020s from Mithril Armory. And we will see you all back here in about 5 to 10 minutes. So everybody can refresh themselves, do what you got to do. And we'll see you all in a few minutes. Thank you. Hello, everybody, and welcome back. Thank you so much for sticking with us through this first part of this journey. In a moment, we will have the winner for our giveaway. Danny's going to be working on getting us that right now. So, TBA in just a moment. Oh, look at that. Our very own Nrobso is the winner. All right. So, congratulations to you, LeRoyal. And we'll if you have some time after the stream, stick around. We'll get some information from you, and we'll get those sent over to you.
Nrobso
right.
succeeded in stealing something right
He
under our
did.
noses again.
So good. So, where we stand, the door to the academy is beginning to creak open in front of Kinlegelana, Agithe, and Nrobso. And as the door opens up, you see this Ambrian woman, a bit younger, her skin, her coloring, very pale. As you're kind of looking at her, you can tell she's visibly shaken at this time. You see what almost look like tear stains on her cheeks. Hello?
Hello. We are coming to inquire about Master Vernon.
Oh. Please come in. And she holds the door open for you.
I go in.
Aggie 100% goes in, and her focus is like all on this girl.
So you enter as well. Excellent. All right, so you guys enter in, and just on this ground level, it's a very just plain-looking hallway. You see a couple doorways on either side, and towards the back of this tower, you see a spiraling staircase heading up to the next floor. Are you here to investigate? Did Mayor Nightpitch send you?
No, we have heard of your master's name through another source, but we did not expect this. Is everything okay?
I'm afraid not.
I'm so sorry. What is your name, ma'am?
Esbetha. Esbetha.
It's lovely to meet you, though under perhaps questionable circumstances. My name is Kinlegelana. This is Agithe, and this is Nrobso. Do you mind telling us what's wrong?
I mean, surely you've heard of the ongoings in Thistlehold, yes, with the various individuals. I mean, there's no easy way to say it. There's been multiple murders. And I'm afraid, God, I'm afraid Master Varnum appears to be the latest. I can show you if you want, but be warned, why somebody would do this, I don't know. It's the most gruesome thing I've ever witnessed.
Aggie bows her head very, very deeply, and if the girl is willing, she will take her hand and just kind of like, gently cup it and say, I am so very sorry for your loss. I do believe there is something we can do to help. If you will show us the body.
Just be warned, there's blood everywhere. I've never seen a body so destroyed.
Aggie's going, I understand. I appreciate you telling us. And if you would like to wait outside, you are more than welcome. I understand.
Follow me, and she begins leading you towards the back of the tower, up the stairs, and she takes you all the way up to the 4th floor. And on this floor, it's kind of a large circular room. On either the left or the right-hand side, you see 2 doorways with a large wooden double door standing before you on the back of the tower. And I need Agithe, Kinlegelana, and Nrobso to please make me vigilance checks when you have a moment.
I rolled a 3 and my vigilant is a 7.
Okay.
Fail.
2, a fail on Nrobso. Okay. So Nrobso, you don't quite notice this, but Kinlegelana and Agithe, as you enter on to this top story, the first thing you notice that kind of hits your senses is the smell of iron in the air. Back outside, Kovaan and Laerke, anything you two would like to do during this time?
So I would be talking to Laerke, because we're both barbarian, but different clans. Laerke, we come from the same type of people, but our clans are definitely different. How is it in your homelands? I know you are a warrior type.
Yeah, Laerke is kind of sitting with him and just kind of like bandaging her arm up. Pretty not great. I don't know if Kovaan would know anything about the Wrathguard.
Kovaan,
I don't.
Give me a cunning check if you would.
Okay.
Unless you don't believe you would have spent enough time around them. I'll leave that up to you.
I don't think I would know necessarily, because I think
fair enough.
I kind of look at the NOI as kind of more keeping to themselves.
For sure.
Sure. It's like this violent, unfriendly. The Karahar are not well known for their hospitality.
So what brings you out to be linked with Aggie? You make a good pair, but I still find it odd that a warrior such as you would be out on your own from your clan.
Well, I was sent to work as a Wrathguard for the High Chieftain, but the service is only 10 years or so. And as for Aggie, well, she's the only one that's been able to provide a service that I require. And so it is a mutually beneficial relationship.
I see that. And as I'm talking with her, I'm like taking part in just an herbal tea, and I offer some to Laerke. This is a simple tea, a dandelion, nothing special. If you would like to partake, I can make you some.
That would be lovely, thank you.
So I would start mixing up and giving it to Laerke.
And to drink this, you see her she pulls this down across her face and sort of like shifts this and drinks so that her entire face is covered, even the hand with the cup. And then when she's done, she just finishes like that. Nobody's ever really seen her eat or drink anything in their travels. She tends to go off on her own to do that sort of stuff.
And then I'm gonna ask Laerke real quick. Your mask, I am drawn to it, as you can see. My coven wears the same symbol. Do all Wrathguard wear the same mask, or just you?
We wear the same armor, but the mask is a personal choice.
Ah, a fine choice.
I agree.
All right. Back up top, Agithe, Kinlegelana, and Nrobso. That scent of iron filling your senses. You see Agithe kind of go up to the large double door. You're certain you wish to see.
Agithe is. She's going to be like, I trust me. When you've seen as many things as I've had through my life, very few things are surprising at this point. We are prepared.
Okay. And she creaks these large doors open, and what you see before you is a large office, the floor stained with blood. You see the desk has been rifled through. You see various documents laying face down in these large pools of blood. Hanging from the ceiling directly in front of the desk, you see the body of an individual. Looking at this body, you only see muscle, no skin anywhere. You see that his chest has been split open top to bottom. Agithe, if you would like to give me a medicus check.
That is cunning, correct? Yeah.
Correct.
Yes. Oh, also just roleplay wise, I think as soon as I see this girl start to push open the doors, I'm gonna put my hand on her shoulder and be like, and we can do it. You should probably step away. You've seen enough.
And she will step back into the main hallway.
And that medicus check is a 6 out of 15.
6 out of 15. Okay, perfect. So looking at this body, aside from the obvious missing skin and being split open, you notice that the left hand is missing 2 fingers. Its index and its middle finger. You also notice that there are a few glands missing.
I will relay this information to...
Which 2 glands, Aggie?
That is a great question. Which
With
2
your,
glands, Nathan?
Yeah, with your 6, you see it there missing the adrenal gland, the thyroid gland, and the pineal gland. All 3 of them appear to have been carved out.
Interesting.
Coral is currently realizing that she does not know enough about anatomy to play a healing character in this setting.
Kinlegelana will take note of that, but she's going to start walking around doing this. I'm going to start investigating what it seems might have been taken from the desk.
Okay. Give me a cunning roll, or I'm sorry, a vigilance roll, if you would.
Okay. Let's see. My vigilant, where is it? It's a 7. I rolled a 6.
Okay. So as you're kind of making your way over to the desk, looking at it, this is your first time up in this office. You can't quite tell if there's anything specific missing. You just see various blank pieces of parchment kind of sprawled out everywhere, and then a couple more just sitting down in the pools of blood. But one thing you do notice as you're kind of walking up toward this area, especially with you being a changeling, on the ground, kind of before this desk, you see what appear to be pointed tips cut off of somebody's ears. They almost look like the tips of an elf's ears. And you also see a few strands of brown hair on the ground. And one other thing I'll give to you, Agithe, with your medicus check beforehand, as you're inspecting the body, you are able to see that this individual was strangled before this took place.
Yeah. Okay. with my experience in alchemy and stuff, would I be able to tell if there was any chemicals involved?
Give me a cunning check if you would.
Oh, fuck me. That's not how. Nope, 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 no, ma'am.
Okay. It looks like somebody used some kind of surgical equipment, but you can't tell if it was chemicals, if it was a blade. You're not entirely certain.
All right.
And
Sorry, go for it.
I just want to let you know, I'm going to collect one of the brown hairs. I'm going to put it in a little vial and slip it away.
Okay, perfect. Nrobso, is there anything you would like to do at this time?
I'm just walking around the room, not necessarily looking for anything, but just a casual stroll around the room and just taking in the environment and the surrounding.
Okay, for sure. Give me a vigilance check if you would.
That's a success. 12 out of, or 9 out of 12.
9 out of 12. Okay, perfect. So as you're kind of walking the perimeter of the room, you notice you kind of pass by a window that's kind of situated behind the desk, and it looks like there are bloody footprints on the outside of the window on the rooftop, and they kind of begin to trail off. And as you're kind of following the perimeter, out of your peripheral, you do notice something on the ground underneath the desk.
I pick it up.
Okay. And what you find is a small iron ring. It's pretty rusted out, and as you're kind of inspecting it and rolling it between your fingers, it looks like there's something inscribed on the inside of it.
Would I recognize the inscription?
Do you speak Elvish?
Nope.
You do not.
Leggies. Leggies.
Yes, Nrobso?
I found an iron ring.
Very nice.
There's words. I can't read, Leggies. No one's taught me.
Oh, and I'll take it. So I can read Elvish.
Okay. So as you're kind of looking at this inscription, you see that it says Nevermore.
It says Nevermore.
And
I'll hand it back.
Give me a cunning check as well as you're checking out this ring.
Cunning. My cunning is a 10. I rolled a 5.
Okay, perfect. So looking at this ring, you also recognize it as a ring from the Iron Pact. And with your knowledge, you would know that the Iron Pact is essentially a deal that was struck between the Ambrians and the elves of Davokar that essentially said, you know, the humans will stop sending treasure hunters into Davokar if you agree to kind of live in peace with us.
Oh,
And there are rumors of members of the Iron Pact. Not necessarily rumors, but the Iron Pact does exist, but where their allegiance stands is kind of up in the air. A lot of them have been known to be kind of these elves that hunt down treasure hunters.
Oh no. Oh goodness. Aggie, what was it you said about not finding trouble? Well, it's a little late for that one. So this seems to be a ring that's related to the Iron Pact. There's a very good chance that our I do remember his name. It was Mayor Vernon? Master Vernon. Yes, Master Vernon. You must forgive me, everyone. I'm a little overwhelmed. But it seems that our Master Vernon might have been a treasure hunter going against the Iron Pact. It's a guess.
And I will also give you, with your cunning roll, I apologize. You do recognize this ring too as an artifact of power.
And this is also an artifact of power.
Can Nrobso keep artifact?
Aggie is just immediately like, no.
Then can Nrobso hold for safekeeping?
Aggie just chuckles and shakes her head.
We need to be very, very careful when we're interrupting what could potentially be a murder scene. Nathan, is there any way I could check to figure out if Nrobso might actually be able to take this ring? Like, if I think, is there a check for that? Like, does it look like they would know it was here?
Give me a cunning check.
All right. Oh my god. Well, I rolled a 19. There's no way.
It's a ring of some kind of power. You would have to potentially spend time with it or find somebody that could identify it better for you. But aside from that, it's a rusty iron ring.
I take out that finger that's around my neck and I just slide it on.
Aggie, I think it's a bit of a lost cause. I think we have Nrobso. If you were to safe keep whatever the ring, would you not touch anything else while we're in here and take it?
Nrobso will keep ring safe. Maybe we find a cellar. Sell.
No.
Yes, wait, yes.
Oh no.
Nrobso may know of Elda. Elda knows artifacts. Elda knows rings. Elda knows items. We go see Elda.
Nrobso. No.
Nrobso
Just keep
keeps.
it. Yes, for safekeeping, not for sale. Yes.
Agatha's Aggie's just gonna put her hand on her hips and be shaking her head so hard and just be like, contacts are good. We do enjoy an expertise.
Yes. And we do struggle when people who might eventually have ill intentions have such rings with potential properties that could potentially do things like burn down cities or those who shall not be named but start with a W.
Aggie's gonna put out her hand and say, I've spent many times studying many things. Maybe you should give me a preliminary look when we have a moment to spare back at the cart.
Nrobso. So again, before we finish, if you're safe keeping the ring, hands to the self. Yes?
Nrobso will listen. Hold on to ring.
Yes. Very well. So anybody discover anything else of interest?
It depends on the role that I'm about to ask our DM if I can make. Can Aggie go full forensics? Like, analyzing the direction of the blood splatters on the wall, literal, like a forensics team does, like trajectory of bullets and all of that scientific stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah. Give me a cunning roll when you have a moment.
Nrobso also sees blood prints outside the window.
Ooh, that is good.
Oh, could we have started with that?
Does that give me a bonus on my roll? It's an 11 out of 15.
11 out of 15. Okay. So as you're kind of really looking around, taking in the whole scene, you surmise that this individual was strangled, hung up from the ceiling, skin removed, then split open. And all the blood is just kind of pooling beneath the body and kind of seeping underneath the desk and soaking down into the wood floors.
Is the body still hung up?
It is still hung. Yeah, it is currently hanging from the ceiling.
Is there clothing or anything nearby?
From what you can see, no.
Okay. Just it's going to be like, there's no way this was just a murder. There is a form of ritual being performed here, from the looks of it. Magical or not, we do not know, but
Seems likely. Do you believe that Master Vernon was a treasure hunter?
treasure hunter or treasure hunted?
Back downstairs, Kovaan and Laerke enjoying your tea in the back of this cart. At this point in time, I'd say it's probably been a solid 10-15 minutes since your companions left you.
Where they are having a much better time than we are.
And at this point, nobody seems to have come by to bother you. I will say you've seen the young woman kind of exiting out down the front of the tower and just kind of standing out in front of in this little courtyard area, almost looking like she's just trying to collect herself while she's standing out here. Is there anything you two would like to do at this time?
Perhaps.
How is Laerke's injury?
Oh,
Pretty good.
I mean, she's not doing she doesn't really seem all too concerned about, like, for somebody that just got stabbed in the forearm and it was deep and there's blood everywhere, she actually seems extremely unconcerned and unbothered about it. And even her wrapping it was extremely, like, not, like, roughshod, like she barely even tried to make it look good. Yeah, she looks fine. I mean, other than the missing, the HP. We're good.
So I look at you and your play out with the heretic is very commendable. People of our sort are always hunted, and hence why I'm not comfortable in the city. So thank you for what you did for her. I do not know of her, but I know of what she runs from. And I am not a fan of the Black Cloak. And I bow my head to Laerke.
Of course. We're in an Ambrian town as barbarians, and as somebody that has worked close with the High Chieftain, I've seen my fair share of prejudices. It was all I could think to do at the time, but I appreciate it. Perhaps
Seems our little
if we're able to see the girl outside, I would say perhaps we should offer the young lady some tea. She looks a little like she might need something to help her calm down.
Yeah, you can easily see her, and she kind of just goes off to the side of the tower where there's just a simple wooden bench that she kind of just sits herself down on and just kind of fidgeting with her hands a little bit and kind of looking back up towards the tower.
Is this like an enclosed kind of area that we walked in?
Oh, where you guys are currently at? Yeah, you got this tower that's kind of centered in the middle of like this little smaller fenced off area.
No, well, I'm trying to determine if it would be safe for Kovaan to be able to, or if he would like, he could brew up some tea and I can bring it to the girl if that's something he's interested in doing. So that he
and I was gonna say, seems our little friend is interested in this tower, even with the distraction of Nrobso. She still lingers with the black coats about.
I think
If you
this
would
is a
like
different
to
girl.
invite her, that is fine with me.
This is a different girl than the one that was being chased, right?
Correct, yes.
Okay.
Oh, different girl. Sorry.
Yep,
My
different,
bad.
different individual. No worries.
I was,
No, this
okay.
was the girl that answered the door and
Correct.
let our people in.
Yes.
Okay. Well, if I have tea in hand, I'd probably go over and offer her some, and let her know that we're with, in as few words as possible. Let her know we're with the people that are inside of the building.
Oh, I didn't realize there were more of you. Thank you. She just kind of cups it with both hands and is staring down at her own reflection, and you can visibly see a couple tears begin to form in her eyes.
I apologize. I didn't quite hear what was going on when my companions knocked. Is everything all right?
No, it seems Master Varnum has fallen victim to whatever monster's behind all this. Your friends are upstairs having a look right now. You're welcome to join them if you want. I won't stop you.
Perhaps I may be better suited to asking you if there's anything you can remember about what happened.
Okay. Give me a persuasion roll, if you would.
Look at Christine over here with the big brain moves.
I'm not all just punches. Although at this I kind of am right now. That was not a success.
All right. She kind of just looks towards and just. I'm sorry. I don't think I can talk about it right now. It's still just so much to take in.
That's perfectly understandable. Just try to
I'm
relax
sorry.
and gather yourself.
Just takes a couple more sips out of her teacup. Back upstairs. Gang. What are we looking at? What are we doing?
Can I read whatever is on his desk?
So up on his desk, there's no, these pieces of parchment are blank, but you do have a couple more that are kind of down in the puddles of blood that appear to be fairly soaked.
So I'm gonna try and use use a piece of cloth to gingerly pick one of them up so as to avoid the blood contamination.
Okay.
And I'm gonna try to look at it.
Okay, for sure. So you pick this piece of parchment up and you flip it towards yourself. And while it's incredibly bloodstained, there are a few lines that you can read. And what you can make out from this letter, it starts off, Dear Master Night Pitch. I know that we seldom see eye to eye, but let me, before the blood kind of begins to take over. And then it continues on, and that skull of the king was shown to you. Numerous sources have told me. Infects all who touch it, infects with the power of corruption. You appear to have escaped its destructive powers. Maybe you never held it. How the atrocities and the killings are connected to all this, I cannot claim to know. But from a reliable source, I have heard that. Before it just fades into blood.
Oh, good lord. I'm gonna drop it. So, there's a lot more going on here. I'm going to impart the pieces that I actually heard.
For sure.
Well, this is worse.
Aggie's going to just gesture to the skinned body hanging in the middle of the room and be like, well, I couldn't have really expected it to be good.
I suppose not. Well, there were
Sounds-
bloody footprints. Do we have any interest in investigating those?
Yeah.
And I open the window, or is the window's already open?
The window was shut at this time.
I open the window and I peek my head out.
Okay.
The tracks seem to go towards this way.
Give me a vigilance check if you would. And Kinlegelana, if you would also please give me a cunning check when you have a moment.
Ooh, that's a 19.
Oof. Okay.
11 out of 12.
11 out of 12. Okay. So looking at these bloodied footprints, you see them kind of head to the edge of the rooftop. And then you look across the small alleyway over to the next building over, and you see a couple more bloodied footprints. Almost as if this individual ran out the window, jumped over to the next building, and continued on.
Do we follow? Do we investigate? Is this how Nrobso dies?
Aggie's going to give a little grin and put her hand on Nrobso's shoulder and say, "Now you know I am no good at hopping along rooftops anymore. But I do think it would behoove us for you to go find out a little more information. But please, Nrobso, please promise me that you will make sure this is not how you die."
The cunning warrior attacks the mind instead of the body. I will do my best to stay discreet.
Good. Yeah, she's just gonna pat Nrobso on the back and she's gonna take a little vial out of her bag and hold out her hand and be like, "May I see your favorite axe?" And yeah, she takes it and she's going to soak soak a rag with the liquid from the vial and rub it all over the weapon, and that shit's got poison on it.
All right.
I shall leave markings towards direction with this one.
Aggie's going to be like, "Brilliant idea." And Nrobso, do only use this under the worst duress.
I will do my best. Though I prefer to fight with Laerke at my side. This seems pressing to the matter at hand.
Yes. We will be as close behind as possible.
And then I head out the window and I try to follow the tracks.
Okay. Give me a quick check as you begin to try to hop your way over to the next rooftop.
6 out of 15.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, luckily it's not too far of a gap, and you get a good sprinting start straight from the window, jumping over onto the next rooftop, and you see the footprints continuing to trail all the way across this rooftop before it looks like hopping another alleyway. Now you're also trying to be sneaky about this, yes?
Yes.
Discrete check as well, please.
With my boon. Oh, Oh, 12 out of 5. Well, 12 out of 6.
Oof. All right.
We are 0 for 3 on discrete checks.
Although you're easily gliding across these rooftops, your feet just feel like you're wearing the heaviest metal boots on the planet as you are just stomping with each step as you go. But you continue on following these footprints. Give me another quick check when you have a moment if you're going to continue to jump across the rooftops.
Uh, 4 out of 15.
Okay, so yeah, easy enough. You make your way across over the next one. And Agithe, as you're watching Nrobso kind of jump through the window, taking off, he gets a couple buildings away from you before your visual kind of starts to get a little obscured on him. Actions from Kinlegelana.
But I can still hear him.
Yes, you do still hear the pattering.
As I'm going, can I also I want to chip like the edge of the roof with my other blade to keep dropping like little signs of the direction that I'm going in.
Okay,
so that
for
the
sure.
team could follow.
Give me another quick check as you're kind of marking as you're going here.
10 out of 15.
Okay, yeah, easy enough. You're stabbing down hard enough to make little notches as you're moving along, unless you're choosing to stop at each roof and make notches in.
No, it's like it's a jump, and as I'm landing, just.
Okay, perfect. Yep, easy enough to do. Back over in the tower, Agithe and Kinlegelana. Anything from you at this time?
So with the information that I have, I'm gonna basically try and see if I can check the room for anything I haven't noticed yet. That seems important.
Okay, give me another vigilance check if you would.
All right. I rolled a 13, and unfortunately, my vigilance is 7. So.
Okay. Yeah, unfortunately, you're not seeing any other details or any other items that are important at this time.
I've just seen so much blood today.
Agithe is going to nod, and yeah, she'll do another once over on the room.
Okay, give me a vigilance check if you would.
Ooh, that is a 10 out of 11.
Okay, perfect. So looking around the room, you're not seeing much else, but one thing you do notice, though, as Kinlegelana is kind of holding up this parchment, you get a decent visual to looking at the blood that's on it. It doesn't look so dry that it's completely ruined the entire message.
Aggie is going to say, we should go back downstairs and reconnect with the rest of the party and follow Nrobso. I do not like the idea of him running into possible danger by himself. However, she's going to point to the parchment that Kin is gingerly holding, and just be like, we should take that. May be able to do something with it.
Give me a cunning check as you're looking at this. Oh, I'm so sorry, Keen.
I was about to ask, do you have any cloth to put it in?
Hell yeah, she'll. If she doesn't have any like random cloth, she probably she has a ton of cloth because she has all these pouches for herbs and stuff. So she absolutely has cloth ready to go to wrap up her herbs and everything. And what check was I making? A cunning check?
Cunning check, please.
It's a 12 out of 15.
Okay. So asking Legelana hand you this piece of parchment, you begin to wrap it up in your cloth. Getting a closer look at it now, you believe you could probably, using your alchemy knowledge, make some kind of formula that could wipe some of this blood off without damaging the ink below it.
Nice. Yeah, she's going, as she puts it away, she's going to explain to Kin, I have the ability to make a solvent for this blood, so we will be able to read the message underneath. Hopefully, if my skill is up to it. However, for now, shall we rejoin?
I do indeed miss Kovaan deeply.
As,
But what about
as do I
Nrobso?
and Laerke.
Where's Nrobso?
You saw him dive out the window, and that's the last time you saw him.
Oh,
Hopping
God.
along the rooftops.
We had one job. Well, I guess we had more than one job, but is he okay?
It was a choice. He is
Didn't you
scouting
encourage him
for
to make
us.
that choice?
Yes, shockingly, I know. I am just as surprised as you. However, he was clearly the most suited for the job as she gestures to the footprints along the rooftops, and she's like, I'm not doing that. Like,
Very
she doesn't
well.
say that, but that's what her face says.
Well, then, do you think we should do anything else in the academy, or should we rejoin Kovaan and Laerke?
I say we rejoin and follow Nrobso as quickly as possible.
Delightful.
If you begin making your way downstairs, back downstairs, Laerke sitting over on the bench with Agithe and Kovaan still in the wagon. Is there anything you two would like to do in this time?
I'd be just watching Laerke and eavesdrop as best as possible with her
Give me a
interaction.
vigilance check, if you would.
I got a match, 9 of 9.
Okay, so that means you succeed. So from sitting over in the wagon, you kind of overhear bits and pieces of Laerke trying to ask Agithe what happened, but you can tell that Agithe isn't budging on wanting us to talk right now. Laerke?
Do I see them come out of the building?
I will say at this point, yes, you do see them now exiting the front door of the academy.
Okay. Well, I'll hold out a hand for her to give me the empty dishes, and basically just, give her a quick bow and say, I'm sure we'll be back with more questions, and if you're feeling up to it, we'd love to hopefully get more information on your situation and be able to help.
Thank you so much. Were you two able to find anything up there? Anything that could help?
Much. And we've actually found some tracks which our young goblin friend has taken off to pursue. So I'm going to look directly at Laerke and be like, so I do believe we should pursue him.
I agree. And she's gonna walk back over to the wagon to give Kovaan the dishes and start getting the wagon ready to move again.
Okay.
Quick question for you, DM. Quick travel through a city. Would we know that it's faster to do that outside of a wagon?
Yes, you would.
Great. Then, yeah, Aggie is going to look at the young girl who's apparently the welcome committee, and just say, as we investigate, would you mind keeping an eye on my shop and putting it in the academy's care?
Oh, with how much you've done for us already, I don't mind at all.
She bows and she's like,
Let's go.
TTFO!
Wait, do I need to feed the moose?
As we're like hobbling off, Aggie's just gonna be like, no, I just fed her, but if we're gone in 12 hours from now, she will need something more.
All right, so you guys begin booking
Carrots
it.
are her favorite.
And
Is
I'm
that-
also.
Oh, sorry. I was just gonna
Oh,
ask
yeah.
if Kovaan is got sufficient cover that he can wear as we're moving through the city.
I would have tried to find some kind of fabric and wrapped it around my neck. I would hide my jawbone, as annoyed as I would be, and I would converse with Keen and Aggie about the actions that went on upstairs and whatever they would want to pass on.
Perfect. I will say, go ahead and give me a discreet check. I'll give you a +5 to this, as I'm sure Aggie's got plenty of cloths and extra supplies lying around that you could easily try to wrap yourself in.
Number of black cloaks this bitch has.
Still a fail because I'm not that discreet. 10 out of 12. I mean, 12 out of 10.
12 out of 10, okay. So as you're trying to tuck away all your different brooches and your jawbones beneath your cloths, they keep just kind of falling out from underneath, like, oh, shit, okay, let's try it this way. And then another one just kind of falls out. Fuck, okay, let's try it this way. I'll say you're kind of able to pull a hood up over your face, at least, if you'd like to at least try to cover your features.
Sure.
There.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that's the best you can work with at this time.
And Laerke will begin tracking Nrobso, hoping
Okay.
everybody else is following behind him.
And Kinlegelana would like to sort of be very close to Kovaan, sort of trying to pass us off like as a couple by putting my arm through his to try and hide some of that, since I look like an Ambrian.
Okay.
And I would be kind of doting on her and playing along, but also having a conversation about what went on upstairs. I'm assuming you would pass on what you had seen and read. Would I know of any of that stuff, Nate? The Iron Pact. I know I'm a green witch, but would I have taken a side course or minored in anatomy or anything?
Give me a cunning
in
check,
witchcraft.
if you would.
8 out of 13. So I did take side classes at witch school.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, you would understand. You'd have the same basic knowledge of the Iron Pact, of who they were, and just listening to kind of the evidence that was taken. And I'll also let Kinlegelana give me a cunning check as well on this, as you guys kind of regroup and start going through the evidence.
My cunning is 10. I got a 7.
7. Okay. So yeah, both of you know, thinking about what was taken, and trying to draw back on your knowledge of the mystic and the arcane. It begins to kind of connect in your brain. I mean, you've each heard of various darker magic spells, and you all also have experience with corruption, and you've heard of different ways that people have tried to combat corruption, whether it be through drinking different elixirs, drinking different fluids, even to the point of consumption of flesh, other types of living things. So in the back of your mind, you're thinking, it could potentially have something to do with some kind of darker magic, or it could just be a murder.
It does sound like it's darker magic. Kovaan, I don't know why I wasn't connected to you sooner. You are such a genius in these things.
You are too kind, Keen. But we found each other at the right time, it seems. And
Indeed.
maybe this leads to some of your problems with corruption, and maybe we can find solutions together.
Yes, preferably ones that aren't what some people resort to.
And I would tap my jawbone. Sometimes the matters choose itself. We don't get to choose.
Indeed.
Nrobso, up top, you're following these footprints across the roofs. You make your way over towards an area of Thistlehold known as the Toad Square. And as you kind of begin to approach, you notice that the bloodied footprints kind of come to a stop at the edge of this roof. And looking down at it, you see that the blood's a bit more spread out. Give me a cunning check, if you would.
18 out of 7.
Okay. So yeah, the blood's a bit more spread out at the edge of this rooftop. And looking around, there's no other buildings directly across from this. You're kind of towards this wider alleyway. Kind of judging the distance, you think it would be pretty difficult for somebody, even somebody who's really dexterous, to make this jump.
I want to like get off of the roof
Okay.
and wait for everyone else so I can kind of gesture where the trail for me ends.
Okay, for sure. Everybody who's currently on the ground trying to trail Nrobso's pathway, Agithe, I'm assuming you're kind of leading the way since you were the one that saw which direction Nrobso was heading. Go ahead and give me vigilance checks from the ground if you would. Now, these are going to be a little bit more difficult. I will say you each have a -2, as Nrobso's been up on the roof just hitting in little tiny notches that you're trying to identify. 4 for you, Kinlegelana?
Well, I got a 2. I'm sorry, I forgot how. So it's just my threshold is -2.
Correct.
And it was for cunning?
Vigilance.
Okay, my vigilant then goes down to a 5. So I did make it with a 2.
Okay, perfect.
Fail.
Fail there, okay.
I got a 2.
Yep, Phil.
We're good.
So for Agithe, sorry, Laerke, what was that?
Pass. I got a 2 as well.
Okay, perfect. So Agithe, Kovaan, you're trying to scan the rooftops looking for any type of signs that Nrobso left. Luckily, Kinlegelana and Laerke, with your sharpened eyesight, you're able to see these little tiny notches being made along the rooftops. You see one on one building, a small alleyway. On the next building, you see the same kind of little notch. And you begin following, and you continue on walking past a good 5-6 buildings before you see one Nrobso standing on the ground in front of you.
Quick side note, Nate, my burden is slow, so Keen and I would be at the rears.
Okay, for sure, no worries.
I would argue that I feel like Laerke and Nrobso have been partnered up for a very long time. She probably knew what signs to look for, so we were chasing him through the town.
Fair enough, for sure.
And as soon as I see him, I'll be like, "What'd you find?"
There seems to be a blood splatter spread out in this area.
And as Nrobso kind of points this out, everybody please give me cunning checks if you would.
Do you want me to redo my?
No, you don't need to because of your previous one there.
I made it.
Made it there? Okay.
I got a 3 out of 5.
Okay. And Agithe? Okay, perfect.
fail.
6 out of 15.
Okay, perfect. So, aside from Kovaan, you're still kind of trying to catch up to everybody. Kinlegelana, Agithe, and Laerke, as you're kind of all staring down at this where these bloodied footprints end on the ground, and it kind of spreads out. It looks like whoever left this trail basically stopped to start wiping their feet off in the dirt, is what it looks like to you. And as you're looking around, you just see the footprints kind of begin to start to get lost, mixed in with other individuals who have begun walking through this area.
Can I check out the ground where it seems that they were trying to wipe their feet off? Because I feel like a common thing would be like if somebody's doing a lot of effort to get something off of their shoes, maybe they might have dropped something.
Sure. Give me a vigilance check if you would.
Nice. 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10. So you get down trying to kind of dig through the dirt, and you do find some of that blood kind of mixed in, clumping up some of the dirt. The only thing you do find are a couple strands of brown hair.
I'll pick him up and
Okay.
just like look at him. Like there's probably nothing I can see about him, but I'll hold him out in my hand to the group and say, nothing left of the assailant other than this.
They seem to be the same type as the ones at the scene. I happened to take one from the scene. It looks just like that.
And as you compare the bits of hair, they are exactly the same.
Exactly the same.
Same texture, same color.
Well, I suppose that narrows down one aspect of our assailant.
It's a shame that there are so many people that fit that.
Aggie's going to start scanning the crowd for people who look like this hair could belong on their head and expecting there to be like 20 of them.
Sure, give me a vigilance roll if you'd like.
Nice. That is a 5 out of 11.
Okay. So as you're kind of scanning the crowds of individuals here, most of what you're seeing are humans. Some with blonde hair. You do see 10 to 15 walking by with brownish hair. You see quite a few with jet black hair, some with like salt and pepper gray hair. Looking around as you're scanning this area, I mean, you could certainly try to take the strands of hair up to each person and try to compare them all close up, but from where you're at currently, it's very hard to tell.
Yeah. This is exactly what we expected with that roll. Yeah, Aggie's gonna put her hands on her hips and just say, well, how unfortunate.
Well, I'm sorry?
Oh, go ahead.
You?
Go.
You.
Me?
Yes.
All right. I just want to know what are the two buildings between this alley? What are on either side of the alley? The two buildings.
So down in this area, what you do see are, they appear to just be like simple households.
Okay.
There's no business signs or anything hanging off of them.
Okay.
Well, we do have a possible lead to get some more information about the overarching situation. We could always follow up with Master Night Pitch, the one the letter was addressed to figure out more about this skull, or we don't have to say it in those terms, just figure out more information about the murders from his perspective.
Or even the mayor. The girl who answered the door, she thought the mayor had sent us, which we have not spoken to them yet. Perhaps they could glean a bit more light on the situation before we dive too deep.
They are one and the same.
Are they one and the same?
No, we were looking for Master Vernon, correct?
No, but Night Pitch is the mayor.
Oh, yes. Yes, Night Pitch is the mayor, indeed.
Oh! Well, then, yes. Aggie just concurs.
Okay.
So I'm gonna come limping up and we're stopping.
Nrobso lost the trail of the person he was following. The blood on the ground is dispersed and spread. There's too many footprints about to find the particular.
A good trick to hide. Lan?
Well, it seems to me we've got two options at the moment. We can seek out Mayor Night Pitch, Master Night Pitch, as it were, or we can perhaps see if Agithe can work her magic with the note first.
I believe the note coming first would be a good prerogative. don't you, Kovaan?
So back to the wagon we go.
Yeah. Yeah, Aggie will just go ahead and bow her head and be like, well, then you know where my tools are.
I just don't want Nrobso's effort to be wasted.
No, nonsense. Your vigilance was very much appreciated. Thank you, Hut.
You've done wonderfully, Nrobso. And you are an amazing safekeeper of items that we will not just be selling or showing or telling. Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
I keep safe.
Indeed. See, Nrobso is actually quite good at this.
It's just like the good goblin game. Hide the boot.
Yes. Absolutely it is.
Okay. So back to the wagon with you all. Okay. You make your way back to the wagon, bloody note in hand. Agithe, give me a cunning check. This will be using your alchemy skills as you're trying to clean this note off at the wagon.
Great. Oh, fuck me. Oh, no. Oh, no. I've min-maxed the hell out of this. I'm not supposed to fail this. I have a 10% chance of failing this specific roll. And I got a nat 20.
Do we hear Agithe's wails from the inside of the wagon?
Yeah. Agithe does not sound pleased. Agithe is not used to fucking up like this.
Oh.
So
To
Agithe,
see her cries
Nrobso.
of frustration.
Nrobso, would you mind going to check on Agithe?
It would not be in Nrobso's best interest to interfere with Agithe's wails.
Very well.
So I probably would have been in there with her, since I also have alchemy as an ability.
Okay.
Is it salvageable?
I will
after
say,
what she tried.
because you're in there assisting Agithe. And I'm sorry, I should have asked what everybody else was doing at this time. So I will let one of you roll, but because you're both skilled in alchemy, you're both fairly knowledgeable in it. I'll give whoever does the roll a +5 to their base.
That would be Aggie. We both have green thumb.
Oh, if you're giving me a +5 to the base, then there's no way I can fail it. It's an auto success.
Okay, perfect. Then
Yeah,
with the help of Kovaan, you're both kind of assessing the blood on this, looking at the various components you have available to you.
Great. So Kovan's going to be my assistant
Mhm.
for everything.
And you create this beautiful blood remover, and you kind of soak one of your rags with it, and you begin gently wiping off this piece of parchment, and you can now see the entirety of this letter. And this letter reads, "Dear Master Nightpitch, I know that we seldom see eye to eye, but let me once again try to explain why I believe that Gorak's failed expedition is connected to the current killings performed by the so-called Flayer. You don't have to write this down, I will send this to you all. I know that Gorak sought you out, and that the skull of the king was shown to you. Numerous sources have told me as much, and I realize that a possible link between the murders and the skull is politically delicate. The king's skull infects those who touch it, infects with the power of corruption. You appear to have escaped its destructive powers. Maybe you never held it, which, if so, was wise. My elven friends have told me that their soothsayers dreamed of a dead king at the time when Gorak was parading around town with his cranium. and they have returned to me saying that they are still dreaming, meaning that the corrupting powers of the skull are still active here in Thistlehold. Precisely how the atrocities and killings are connected to all this, I cannot claim to know, but from a reliable source I have heard that the art of flame is an ancient and baneful one, born of darkness. Nevermore the dark, Master Vernum.
Well, it doesn't sound good.
And with this revealed letter, you all sitting in the back of the wagon, Nrobso, Laerke, Kinlegelana, letting Agithe and Kovaan do their work on the inside. This is where we will call our first session. So, thank you to my wonderful, wonderful players for such an amazing beginning to this journey. Thank you to our phenomenal viewers. Truly, I hope you all stick with us through this long-term campaign. That we've got quite a bit of really, really cool stuff planned for this. So please stick around. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. And I'm going to go and throw it back to my players once again. Shout yourselves out. Say where people can find you. Plug your projects. Let's start off with Coral.
Hi, friends. My name is Coral Reefer. You can find me on the Twitch at twitch.tv/queerventuretime and on the Twitters at QVentureTime, because Queer Venture Time is too many characters. I am a trans variety chatting streamer who talks about a lot of stuff. We are working on political campaigns in the local political arena. So I'm all about talking about how you can get involved and talking about how we can just change the fucking world, because the world needs to change, right? So yeah. This is so much fun. Thank you. I love this system.
Excellent, excellent. All right, moving on. Kelsey.
Hi, my name is Kelsey. On Twitter and Instagram, I am Tombs and Tomes. If you like literature and tabletop role-playing games, I basically just share that content. And I'm really excited to keep going with this. This has been really fun. Thank you so much, Nathan.
Absolutely. All right, Christine.
Hey everybody, you can catch me over at twitch.tv/slumberjane. That's really the only place I'm active at, and we just go on, we play some video games and have some neon lights and do some, retro wave fun junk and stuff. So come and hang out.
Excellent, excellent. And Royal.
Hey everyone, I am Lee Royal, and on all social medias, I am Royalty No Y, primarily on Instagram and Twitch on Monday, Wednesday, Fridays with my variety stream. And currently, my project that I'm working on, I'm trying to print some 3D stuff for my next cosplay, doing Jason Todd, Red Hood of the Outlaws. So if you want to see any of that progress, more than likely I'll be posting that on my Instagram stories.
Perfect. And Keith.
Hi everybody, thanks for coming by. Fun system. You can find me on IG. I am not Kevin Bacon. I stream here probably more in August, 808, and I'll be back here with Nate on the 1st, but the week after on the 8th will be episode 3 of Evermore Tales. So I hope you join us for both Sundays.
Please do. And my name was Nate, the game master for this system. Find me on Instagram mainly at dungeonmaster_discussions, or streaming over here with the initiative order with all these lovely people. We have an amazing weekend planned. We also have the continuation of Vault tomorrow, our Fallout stream, being DM'd by the phenomenal April Hill, aka Stiletto Assassin. So please check that out, give them some love, as well as a full weekend of events planned for Jaspers Game Day. And I know we have some raffle seats going on for some of those tables. So there's some absolutely incredible GMs running some games that weekend. So if you want a chance to play with them, buy a raffle ticket, goes straight to Jaspers Game Day, an amazing, amazing cause. So if you're able to support, please do. And then, like Keith said, we'll be back on August 1st for session 2 of Symbaroum. Until then, thank you all so much. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you in the next adventure. Bye.